Welcome sa sit9.com. This video ay tutuloy natin yung ating series on trigonometry, no? Kung napanood nyo yung previous video natin ay napag-aralan natin yung 6 na trigonometric ratios, no? So, sabi natin the sine of theta is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. And then cosine theta is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, and so on and so forth, no? Ito yung kanyang formula. So, pag O, ibig sabihin opposite side, opposite of the angle, no? Kapag H yun yung hypotenuse ng triangle, and pag A, ibig sabihin yung adjacent side, no, ng angle natin, angle theta. So, dito, yung pinangalanan natin yung angle natin na theta, but of course, you can use other names. So, for example, itong right triangle natin, meron tayong A, B, and C. Ito yung angles natin. So, ito ginagamit lang siya sa right triangle, itong trigonometric ratios natin na nandito, no? Sa ibang triangle, iba naman yung formula na ginagamit natin. Okay, so looking at A, no? Ano ba yung sine A? Sabi natin, sine theta is opposite over the hypotenuse. So, pag sinabi natin opposite, what is the side opposite of A, no? So, opposite to A. Ito yung 3, no? So, opposite, pag A yung pinag-uusapan natin, siguro maglagay tayo ng mark, ito yung opposite natin, ito yung ating adjacent, no? This is our opposite side. This is our adjacent side, no? Kasi A yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, pag sinabing opposite, opposite siya ng angle. Pag sinabi mong adjacent, adjacent siya dun sa angle, which is, ibig sabihin katabi. And this one is called the hypotenuse, no? Hindi naman nagbabago ang pangalan nito. The longest side of a right triangle is called hypotenuse, no? So, ito yung kanyang hypotenuse. So, pag sinabi natin sine A, no? Sine A is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So, ang opposite side niya ay 3. The length of the opposite side is 3. And the hypotenuse is square root of 34. Square root of 34. Hindi na natin i-rationalize, no? Kasi hindi naman natin yung lesson kung paano i-rationalize. I-leave na lang natin siya as is. Dapat kasi mawala yung radical dito, no? But masyado tayo matatagalan kung tatanggalin natin yan. So, ito yan na lang muna. No? Next, we have cosine A. Cosine A is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. No? So, ito yung formula. Cosine is adjacent of the hypotenuse. So, ang adjacent side niya ay 5. Tapos, ang hypotenuse niya ay square root of 34. Okay, so, yan. And then, tangent A is the opposite over adjacent. No? So, opposite over adjacent, meaning 3 over 5, or 3/5. No? Okay, what about cosecant A? So, cosecant is, anong formula ng cosecant? We have hypotenuse over the opposite side. So, hypotenuse is square root of 34 over, ang cosecant, no? Over the opposite side. So, over 3. And then the secant, we have hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse over adjacent. Square root of 34 over 5. And the cotangent, layo ng ating letter, but anyway, cotangent of A is anong formula? Adjacent side over the opposite side. So, adjacent. By the way, pinag-uusapan natin mga length yan ng sides, although hindi ko sinabing length of the opposite, pero yun ang ibig sabihin yan. So, cotangent is the length of the adjacent side, which is 5, over the length of the opposite side, tama? Opposite side is 3. Opposite of A. Ito yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So, kung mapapansin niyo, hindi ko siya sinabi kaagad, no? Para magamit yung formula. But actually, the cosecant is the reciprocal of, or the inverse of sine. So, mapapansin nyo, inverse or reciprocal yung numbers, no? This number is a reciprocal of this number. Kasi inverses yung dalawang yan. Okay? So, ito rin, secant is the inverse of cosine. So, kita nyo reciprocal din yung ating value. And reciprocal mean binabaliktad lang yung ano, di ba? B over A. Pag ang reciprocal ng A over B is B over A. So, makikita nyo binabaliktad lang yung numbers din sa ano. Next, we have tangent tsaka cotangent. They are also reciprocal or they are also inverse of each other. Okay? Now, babaguhin natin paano naman kung B yung titignan natin? So, may iba na siya. Pag ito yung titignan natin, yung B. Pag B naman ang titignan natin, hindi na ito yung opposite ng B. Ito na, magpapalit yung adjacent tsaka yung opposite. Kasi, yung adjacent ng B is ito, itong side na to, yung BC. No? That's the adjacent of angle B. So, ito na yung maging adjacent ko. At, pag angle B na yung titignan natin, ito na yung maging opposite side ko. Okay? So, mangyari, sin B is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. No? So, opposite side is 5 over the hypotenuse square root of 34. Also, cosine B is adjacent over hypotenuse. No? So, the adjacent, which is 3 over the hypotenuse. And tangent is equal to the opposite, the length of the opposite side over the length of the adjacent side. Opposite is 5. Adjacent is 3. Okay? Tama ba? Opposite is 5, adjacent is 3. Okay. So, since alam na natin na reciprocal, we can just reverse the order, no? O we can just exchange the numerator and the denominator, no? Ng ating sign. Kasi, since ano sila reciprocal. So, this is square root of 34 over 5. We don't need the formula, no? Kasi, sabi mo inverse, balik rin lang natin yung numerator at denominator. 3 and cosine B is 350. Cotangent B is 350. Okay, so yan lang, no? Ayan lang. Basta kabisado nyo yung formula. Actually, isa lang yung formula na kabisado nyo yung sine, cosine, tsaka yung tangent. Isang triples lang. Yung second 3, no? Hindi natin kailangan kabisaduhin kasi they are inverses of these ratios, no? So, ang ano lang dyan, kailangan lang ay dapat kabisaduhin yung formula, no? Nung sine, yung cosine, tsaka yung tangent, no? And kung napanood nyo yung previous video, sabi natin yung acronym na SOHCAHTOA ay makakatulong siya kasi sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. Tapos, yung iba yan, yung sine, ang inverse niya ay cosecant, yung cosine, ang inverse niya ay secant, at yung tangent, inverse niya ay cotangent. Okay, so that's it. I hope meron kayo natutunan dito. Sana malinaw, no? Again, pag yung sine A, magkaiba yung value niya sa sine B kasi magpapalit yung opposite tsaka yung adjacent. Yung adjacent, yun yung side na katabi ng angle. Ang angle kasi sa right triangle, dalawa yung magiging katabi niya, no? Magiging it's either the adjacent side or the hypotenuse. Kasi kinukuha lang naman natin na mga angles dito yung acute angles, hindi naman natin kinukuha yung right. Okay, so I hope meron kayong natutunan sa video na to. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Gusto ko yung invite sa ating Facebook page na facebook.com/sit9ph and of course youtube.com/user/sit9ph. Mag-subscribe kayo sa ating channel dahil marami pa tayong i-discuss. See you!